So welcome back to this episode of Wood Chips and Black Steel. In the last episode, I sort of talked through the process of polishing a piece of metal to prep it for bluing. And if you remember right, we polished this little end cap for the wood stock. Well, we got it done and it came out really nice. In today's episode, I'm going to blue or add color to the barrel and the receiver, and I wanted to bring you along. So let's get started. So the process that I'm using is called rust bluing, and it's traditional going back to some of the earliest days of the industrial manufacture of firearms. It's simple to use. The results are really stunning with its deep blue-black color, and it's pretty robust as a finish. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. But the first thing we need to do is heat the part up. All right, we're going to do that a couple more times and I'll bring you back because the next step is to dunk this in boiling water. I'll bring you back when we do that. We let the part sit in boiling water for about 5 minutes. That helps set the color. With that done, we're going to pull it out of the water, set it down to cool for a little bit. Then we're going to blow out all of the excess water that's in the part, and then we're going to repeat the process. And we'll repeat that process as many times as is required until we get the color that we're looking for. You can see it's starting to take on a nice rich black color. We'll let some of that evaporate off. The next thing I'm going to do is start the barrel. That way I'll have two parts going. Each would be about 5 minutes separated. So from a production standpoint, I can keep this process going much quicker. Let's do the barrel next. So for the barrel, the next step is exactly the same. We're going to put it back in the boiling water. Let it boil for 5 minutes or so to set that color. All right, let's go do that. Now to bring out the color, the last thing that we do is called carding. And the idea of carding is that you take a real fine steel wool or a real fine wire brush, and then you simply go over the color that you've put in with that fine steel wool. I use steel wool, and then you just go over that part, and that brings out the color. And following that, we're going to go and repeat this as many times as is necessary in order to get the color that we're looking for. Let me show you the carding. This is the first card, and the color is very uneven, which is okay. You expect that, and it's each successive application of the rust blue chemical that it begins to even out the amount of color that we're trying to put in. Right now, this is a little bit silver. Blotchy in a couple places. All of that's okay. not putting a lot of pressure on this. We want just enough to get that rust that we put on evened out. So you can already see that it's starting to take on that really nice black coloration. So I have several more coats to put on to get this thing to even out. When I'm done, I'll bring you back and I'll show you what it looks like. See you on the other side. Alright, this came out really well. I had to put a few extra coats on the receiver because for some reason it was coming out a little bit blotchy, but we got it done. Now I need to go and put it into a neutralizing bath and get some oil on it. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'll post some pictures of the finished bluing at the end. Now, I mentioned in a previous video that I started a Patreon page. Well, that Patreon page is up and running. The upper tier level of patrons, I want to sort of give details of how we do this work. So, for instance, more details on polishing, more details on how the bluing process is actually done. There's a lot of steps in here that I sort of glossed over because there's just not the time in a regular video to get this done. So anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ring the bell so you get notified the next time I post a video. I'll see you in the next one.